Welcome friends, Loscarf here, and it's time for a different kind of guide for Overwatch. I'm calling this one Fight or Flight HP versus Damage. We're going to exhaustively go over all the damage that heroes can do in this game, everyone's HP in the game, go over just what can one-hit you and what can't at certain HP thresholds, just to think about things. So I'm going to go over every single hero from left to right, starting with Genji, ending with Zenyatta, and it's going to be going over mostly just 1v1 situations, but you can still translate it over to group kind of fights. An example I can give is you're engaging Pharah. Let's say you have 121 HP. Pharah at max can only do 120 damage with her rockets on a direct hit. Splash does less, so you can survive one direct hit from a rocket and a splash. Fighting in a one-on-one situation, you have 121 HP, you know you can handle 2 shots, that's fine. Now if you're fighting in a group fight and there's other enemies around, then you gotta consider who's shooting at you at the moment. Can you survive their shots? Can you survive Pharah's shots? What can you deal with? So should you be getting out of there, engaging in fights, or at least getting in a direction where it's not Pharah hitting you while you're dealing with other people fighting you, because maybe you can survive their damage while you can't survive hers. That's just an example to give right here. So it's going to be a lot of different numbers going over playing as these heroes, what you're looking for as far as HP thresholds go to kill somebody, and what you're doing against these heroes, just knowing how much HP you need to have to survive a fight with them, so you know whether you should fight them or get the heck out of there. That's really what we're going to go over here. Just a lot of exhaustive numbers here, so you have a lot of knowledge to help you play the game better. And so you might need to watch this guide a couple more times, and that's fine, because it's really important to know every number, because if you know all the numbers, you can do a lot of work. Terms and information. Now in this section, I'm going to define some terms and give out some more information so you have a good idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the heroes going down the list in the next sections. So first up, let's define threshold. When I say threshold, I mean this is how much HP you need to have to get one hit. So again, the example of Pharah, at 120 HP, dealing with Pharah, that's the threshold. She can one-hit you at 120 HP. So you want to be above threshold with 121 and above to not get killed by her with one hit. That's what I mean when I say threshold. Same thing when I'm saying threshold as Pharah. When you're fighting someone, the threshold for you to one-hit somebody is 120. So you're looking for like 5 or less blocks of HP for a direct hit kill. So now let's define blocks. When I say blocks, I mean HP blocks. HP blocks are 25 HP each, so if you're a hero with 200 HP, you have 8 blocks of HP. Using the Pharah example again, when your opponent has 4 blocks of HP, a direct hit from your rocket will kill them since you do 120 while those blocks mean 100. So when they have 5 blocks and you hit them with a direct hit, if they don't die, that means they only have about 5 HP left or a little bit more. They had a little bit in the 6th block as well, but really it's just, well, they're going to die from the next hit for sure because they got nothing left. Now let's talk about information. Now if you want to understand HP in full, you should check out the HP guide we made a while back. That is still a very useful tool to check out there. It'll help you a lot. Now, all you really need to know about HP for this guide would be blocks, which we already said, and then armor HP. Armor HP will defend up to a max of 5 HP per hit, so that's all you really need to know. So if you have armor, and we're talking about threshold, just add 5 HP to that, because you can survive a little bit more if you got armor on you. Now, on the screen right now is all the HPs of all the heroes in the game in every configuration, which is why you're going to see D.Va out of her mech and in her mech. So there's only 2 heroes in the game right now who have 150 HP, that's D.Va out of her mech and Tracer, so they can get 1 hit by certain attacks or 2 hit by a lot of attacks. Now 13 heroes have 200 HP, that's Symmetra, Ana, Genji, Hanzo, Junkrat, Lucio, McCree, Mercy, Pharah, Soldier 76, Torbjorn, Widowmaker, and Zenyatta. There's a lot of attacks in this game that do like 100 something, so these heroes can get 2 hit by a lot of attacks or headshots in the game. Then there's 2 heroes with 250 HP, and that is Mei and Reaper. So considering how devastating some attacks are in this game, 17 different heroes in this game can be 2 hit or 3 hit by a lot of the attacks in the game. Then you got Bastion with 300 HP, Zarya with 400 HP, Bastion in ultimate form 450 HP. 4 things have 500 HP, and that is Winston, Reinhardt, Torbjorn, and D.Va in her mech, and all of them have armor HP as well on that. Then there's Roadhog with 600 HP, and lastly Winston in ultimate form is 1000 HP. That's really all the information you got to know there. That should help you understand what I'm going to talk about coming up when I talk about each hero with their attacks. But one thing to keep in mind is there's a lot of attacks in this game that do 100 plus HP, either through headshots or just through blasts, and that means you can hit a lot of heroes in this game. Genji. So his attacks. Shurikens do 28 damage each, 56 on headshots. Dash does 50 damage, and of course if you kill someone with a dash, you can do another dash right after. Then there's his ultimate, which does 120 damage. He can do a maximum of 7 slashes. Keep that in mind when you're fighting the tanky heroes. So when you're Genji, if you're fighting enemies with 200 HP and below, Genji needs only 3 to 8 shurikens to kill someone depending on the number of headshots he lands, and then you want to finish him with a dash. So you're looking for 2 blocks of HP left on your opponents. Hit them with a bunch of ninja stars, dash through them to finish them off, then you get to use your dash again. You can also of course dash into a melee, which will of course take another block of HP, since that's 30 HP. Now when it comes to your ultimate of course, Genji's sword does 120 damage each, So that's going to mean you'll need to do 2 slices to kill 15 different heroes in the game. Then when it comes to Mei, Reaper, and Bastion, 3 slashes to kill them. Then for the tanks and above, you need 4 to 6 slashes to kill them. So you really want to use this for the squishier opponents, of course, and consider whether or not you want to use your ultimate on tanks, because it just takes a lot longer to kill them. Now when you're fighting against Genji, the threshold against him in normal fighting is 50 HP, so that's 2 blocks of HP. That's because the dash will kill you in 1 hit, and that's a reliable attack he will do against you. So as long as you're above 50 HP, you can just keep fighting him, but the second you look like you're about to hit below it, you need to get out of there, or try to dodge his dash so you can keep fighting him, or look for some HP. That's what you gotta worry about. Now when he's got his sword, it's just wondering how much HP you got. If you're one of the low HP heroes, you're gonna die in 2 slashes, so you either have to kill him or find a way out of there as soon as possible. And if you're a tank, you can just counter him. Just fight him. He's going to take a lot of slashes to kill you, so you can deal with Genji as a tank. Just get him off your teammates who are more squishy. McCree. Now his gun does 70 damage, 140 damage on headshots, and when it comes to long distance, it goes as far down as 20 damage. His fan does 45 damage per hit, does not headshot, and at long range it'll only do 20 damage, but you're not really using it for long range anyway. Then flashbang does 25. And lastly, his ultimate, 170 damage per second cast, so McCree can kill a lot of the squishier heroes pretty early on very quickly. Now when you're playing as McCree, all the 200 below heroes, they're dead to you in 2 or 3 shots. 2 shots if you get a headshot out of those 2 shots, 3 shots for 3 body shots. 5 fan shots will kill as well. You can also put the flashbang in there to make it easier for you to get headshots and fan shots depending on what's going on in your situation, and distance. Now your ultimate? Everyone but tanks can be killed within the first 2 seconds of casting. That's because it builds up 170 damage per second of casting. So, at 2 seconds, that's 340 HP. You're killing everyone but the tanks with that. So if you want to reliably kill an enemy, if you see them with 5 blocks, that's 125 HP, they'll die to your headshot because that's 140 HP damage. So when you're fighting McCree, at about mid-range, the threshold's 140 HP. That means 1 headshot from McCree will kill you at 140 HP, so you gotta be careful about that when you're fighting him. Try not to get headshot when you're fighting him. Body shots will hurt like heck, but it means 2 of them instead of 1 to take you out. Now, if you're at close range, you gotta watch out for the flashbang, because that'll make the threshold 165. That's 25 from the flashbang, and 140 from the headshot that is mostly guaranteed if he lands the flashbang. Pharah. When it comes to her rocket, she does 120 damage on a direct hit, Splash does less damage, her ultimate does 40 damage per rocket, 90 rockets total for 3,600 damage with them all together. Now when you're playing as Pharah, you kill everyone 200 below in 2 direct hits, that's pretty good. Killing Mei and Reaper takes 2 direct hits and a melee. Bastion's gonna need 3 rockets from direct hits to get killed. Tanks are gonna take just a lot more shots to kill them for sure. And your ultimate will kill everyone eventually, it just takes a while for certain HPs and shields. So you're looking at a 4 to 5 block threshold for killing people with a direct hit, and if they survive that direct hit, well then you gotta hit them with a melee or just a splash rocket to finish them off. Now when you're dealing with Pharah, you have 120 HP as your threshold. That's a direct hit from the rocket, that's all you gotta worry about. As long as you have more than that much HP, you can take a direct hit and you can take 1 more hit before you get killed. If you can take her out before that, then you're good. That's all you gotta worry about when risking your life when taking on Pharah. Reaper. So Reaper's shotguns shoot 20 pellets each, and they do 2 to 7 damage depending on distance. So, at minimum, if you're somehow able to hit someone with all the pellets at distance, that's 40 damage, and up close and personal, 140 damage. Headshots 280. His ultimate Death Blossom does 510 damage over time. So this is the thing that makes Reaper kind of interesting when you're playing as him. If you can land 1 good headshot at close range, you can kill everyone except Bastion and the tanks. Straight up, just 1 headshot will kill them all. More reliable, of course, you're going to do body shots, and it's 140 damage, so you're killing most people in 2 shots, besides, again, the tanks and Bastion. That's really what you're doing there, because 280, that'll kill anybody. So what you're looking for is just do 2 good body shots. You don't have to worry about blocks, just land the body shots. Now, when it comes to the tanks, you gotta land a lot more headshots and body shots, and the last thing to think about is your ultimate. Your ultimate does 510 damage, but considering all tanks but Zarya have armor on them, and Roadhog has 600 HP, you can only kill Zarya with your ultimate. Everyone else actually will survive you as long as they have full HP when you do your ult on them. That's a surprising thing about the tanks, and something to keep in mind. So this begs the question, what's the threshold when you're fighting Reaper? And I'm gonna say 140 damage, because that's a reliable body shot coming from him. He might not get the headshot easily, so 140 damage I'd say would be the threshold. You gotta be worried about him at all times anyway though, because if he gets that headshot in the right spot, well then you're dead unless you're a tank. And even if you are a tank, you gotta worry about 280 threshold, because a headshot on Winston in the face, D.Va in the face of her mech, she's gonna just lose that mech right there. Winston's gonna be dead. Reinhardt, same thing goes for Roadhog. The tanks just gotta be worried about getting hit in the face, and they have a usually bigger hitbox than other heroes when it comes to headshots. So A lot of people just need to be worried about Reaper. Standing your distance is usually what you gotta do against him, but if he does his ultimate on you and you're a tank at full HP, take advantage of that. Just kill Reaper as long as he's the only one there to deal with you. Soldier 76. So his rifle's damage depends on the range of it. It goes from 5 damage at longest range up to 17 at the closest range. So you're looking at 10 to 34 damage per headshot. The Helix rockets will do 120 damage on direct hit, less with splash. So when you're playing a Soldier 76, anyone 200 and below is going to be killed with about 6 to 20 mid-range shots, depending on how many headshots you land. Once they fall to 120 damage, the Helix rockets on a direct hit will kill them, so you're looking at about 4 to 5 HP block threshold. So when you're fighting against Soldier 76, the threshold's 120 HP because of the Helix rockets. A direct hit from that will kill you at 120 HP. You're still worried about taking a lot of bullets, but at most, it's going to be 34 damage from a headshot at close range, so you're really worried about those Helix rockets killing you while you're trying to kill him. Tracer. So her damage is interesting. Her guns do 1.5 to 6 damage depending on range. So that means her gun burst at close range does 240 damage to the body, or 480 to a headshot if she uses the entire clip on somebody. But you know how her shooting is. She shoots very erratically. You're going to land some of it, you're going to miss some of it, and you don't want to be too close to people because if you are, you might get killed as Tracer yourself. So it's very interesting to see how much damage she can actually do at maximum if she can be very accurate and not get killed doing it. Then there's her Pulse Bomb, which is 400 damage explosion, splash does less damage. So when you're playing as Tracer, you gotta think about the fact that you have the potential to do 240 damage if you land every bullet. So if you're really accurate, good on you. So with people who are 200 HP and below, you have a good chance of killing them with one good burst. And if they're low on HP, you have a better chance of killing them pretty dang quickly. A very accurate close-range Tracer could just melt tanks within 2 bursts as well, especially if you can get those headshots, and let's not forget the 400 damage on the Pulse Bomb. And this is something worth noting because that bomb does 400 HP, it'll kill Zarya, but the other tanks, they have 500 to 600 HP, it does not kill them. Now, if you're fighting against Tracer, her damage is really unreliable, so it's hard to gauge how much damage you have to worry about when fighting her. So really, it's just kill her before she kills you, it's just a tough thing to think about. This is more something you have to sense out. Just a threshold's just hard to gauge because of how unreliable her damage is. And when it comes to the bomb, unless you're a tank, you can just go and get HP because you know you're going to survive it and you got to pick up HP before Tracer comes back to finish you off. But if you're Zarya and your bubble's down, well then you're just dead. There's no surviving it, you're gone. Bastion. Now this is an interesting case because he has 3 different forms that can do damage. In Recon, his gun does 6 to 20 damage depending on range, so that's headshot for 12 to 40 damage. In Sentry mode, that's 4 to 15 damage depending on range, so that's 8 to 30 depending on damage for the headshots. And that's a lot of bullets coming out of him in Sentry mode. Then the Tank mode does 205 damage per shot with less on splash. So when you're playing as Bastion, if you get caught in Recon mode, you can stand and fight to 200 and below enemies. You just gotta hit them with enough headshots to take them out. We're looking at about 5 headshots to kill somebody with Bastion at close range, a lot more at distance. But if you're in Sentry mode, you kill everyone in seconds, you know that. But in Tank mode, anyone who's 200 and below, they're dead in 1 shot. The rest die in 2 to 3 shots. So Bastion is very dangerous to deal with at all times, so you can do a lot of work as him. So when you're fighting Bastion, it's hard to really gauge threshold with him. If you're fighting Recon mode though, the threshold is 40 damage because 1 good headshot from him will kill you at 40 HP, so just try to survive that much when you're trying to fight him in Recon mode. If he gets you below 40, you might want to get out of there. When it comes to Sentry mode, you just don't engage it, of course, that will get you killed. You gotta try to counter and flank that thing, because if you don't, well, he's gonna kill you straight up in the front. And in Tank mode, unless you can survive the first hit and just try to kill him somehow, all you can do is run from him. He is such a dangerous thing to deal with in Tank mode. That's all you gotta think about. Bastion's just a pain in the butt. He can kill you really fast. The only way to beat him is to kill him before he can kill you. Hanzo. So when his arrow's uncharged, it does 29 damage. At fully charged, 125 damage. So when they're headshots, 58 damage for the weak one, and 250 for the fully charged one. Scatter Shot does initial hit damage the same as above, but when it comes to the 6 scatter arrows, they do 75 damage each, for a total of 450 damage. Then there's Dragon Strike. The arrow itself does 125 damage again, and the dragons do 200 damage per second. Now when you're fighting as Hanzo, you can kill everyone 250 and below with 1 headshot. You're deadly to everybody but Bastion and the tanks, that's pretty much it. When it comes to everyone else, hit with the scatter arrow, you'll kill Zarya and Bastion, then you just have the other tanks left, but they only need 1 more arrow to finish them off after hitting them with 450 damage from all the scatter arrow shots, if you can pull it off. So when you're fighting Hanzo, I will say the threshold is 250 damage. Yeah, you should be worried about that scatter arrow, but it's hard to land all 6 on 1 person, especially if you're not as big as a tank. But 1 arrow to the head and you're dead, so you really should be more worried about that more than anything. Just consider, 1 shot from Hanzo can kill you, so you gotta be very smart about how you deal with Hanzo. Of course, at close range, he has a harder time hitting you, but if he still gets that headshot, he can kill anyone 250 and below. You gotta keep that in mind when you're fighting Hanzo. So really, the only people who can engage Hanzo without fear are tanks. Everyone else, you gotta just try to kill him before he can kill you. That's just about it. Now if you're fighting Hanzo who just isn't accurate, then maybe you'll kill him, but maybe he'll get lucky and get the headshot. It's really a crapshoot when you're fighting Hanzo. You just have to kill him before he kills you, or hope someone who can handle him takes him out so you don't have to deal with him. Junkrat. Now he has a lot of sources of damage, so let's just list them off. When he dies, each bomb that he drops does 60 damage. He has 6 bombs that do 300 damage total. His frags that he shoots at do 120 damage, less damage from splash. His mine does 120 damage. His trap does 80 damage. His riptire does 600 damage up close and less from splash. So when you're playing as Junkrat, he has a lot of ways to kill people. There's the mine plus trap combo to kill people 200 and below. Then you've got the frag plus mine combo. That's where he hits someone with a grenade direct hit, then hits them with his mine direct hit as well for 240 damage. That'll kill everybody but the people 250 and above, but even if you hit Mei and Reaper with it, they only have 10 HP left, you can kill them with a melee. The tanks, of course, can take more bombs to die, and Riptire kills everyone in the game except for Winston with his ultimate form. So when I'm looking to finish someone off, I'm looking for 4 to 5 blocks of HP. That's because of the mine. You can very well throw the mine out and just detonate it whenever you want, making very reliable damage. 120 HP right there. They somehow survive with 5 HP because they have a full 5 blocks. Just walk up and hit them, or hit them with a splash from one of your bombs. So when you're fighting against Junkrat, 120 HP is the threshold to worry about because that mine is hard to miss. Junkrat is a very dangerous enemy to face because his damage is as reliable as his aim. Dodge the frags, and you can only have to worry about that mine because 120 damage will hurt like hell. Everyone should be afraid of the Riptire, by the way, because that will kill you. Destroy it before it destroys you. Mei. So Mei's Freeze Blaster does 45 damage per second, freezing enemies at around 70 damage. Her Ice Skill deals 22 to 75 damage depending on range, and headshots will do 44 to 150 damage. Her Blizzard does 100 damage, and it also freezes. So when you're playing as Mei, you can actually kill Tracer and D.Va out of her mech with one headshot from the Icicle. Traditionally, you're going to do a freeze combo on everybody, and that is approximately doing 240 to 250 damage, which means Mei can essentially kill everyone but tanks and Bastion in one combo. But even then, these tanks and Bastion can be killed from additional Icicle or one more combo to finish them off. The only one who really takes a little bit longer is Roadhog. So you generally don't really worry about block threshold, you just do the freeze combo and you'll likely kill someone if they're not a tank. Now when you're fighting against Mei, the threshold is this: 150 HP because of the Ice Skill to the face, or getting frozen. That is usually a death sentence. Mei is a close range fighter, so her Ice Skills usually do full damage, so a headshot will kill you have less than 150 HP. Getting frozen is using a death sentence because of 240-250 freeze combo kill, so you just have to be very scared of getting frozen by her. Of course, if you're a tank, you can try to take out Mei before she finishes you off, but because of her freeze combo, she'll likely stall you long enough that other people can attack you as well, so it is a pain in the butt to deal with Mei in general. You just have to kill her before she kills you, basically. Or just run the hell out of there. Torbjorn. Now his primary fire rivet gun does 70 damage and 140 at headshot. His alternate fire deals 6 to 15 damage per pellet in a 10 pellet burst. They can headshot as well for a potential damage of 300 max. His hammer does 75 damage, and then there's his turret. His turret does 14 damage per shot and 14 damage per rocket. Now as Torbjorn, you can badly wound most heroes on your own and kill 200 and below heroes in 2 to 3 primary shots from his rivet gun. Torbjorn can also hammer most heroes to death in 2 to 3 hits as well. That's something to think about that not a lot of people do with Torbjorn. It takes a lot of pellets to kill squishier heroes, especially since they have smaller frames, but at point blank range, Torbjorn can kill 200 or below heroes in 1 to 2 bursts from the alternate fire, but it is difficult to do. Tanks are more reliable to hit with pellets, and Torbjorn can kill them in 2 to 4 bursts if placed well. Then there's your turret, but that damage is not really something you can reliably consider about. Enemies will usually just run away from turret as soon as they see it, so it'll do some damage to melt people down. So when you're thinking about damage to kill an enemy with Torbjorn and not with your turret, you're looking at about 5 to 6 HP blocks for threshold. Because with a headshot from the rivet gun, you're doing 140 damage. That will kill anyone with 5 blocks. They'll have only a little bit left when they have 6 blocks of HP. If you can hit a full body burst with the alternate fire, you're doing 150 damage. So you can kill someone with 6 blocks of HP very well with that, just considering what you want to hit someone with. Now when you're fighting against Torbjorn, I'll say if it's Torbjorn himself, the threshold's 150 damage, because that's one good body shot from Torbjorn. He's short, so it's hard for him to get a headshot, so you really got to worry about a body shot, and that is 150 damage from the burst. And of course, always be careful with the turret, because it has ridiculous range and accuracy. Last thing to note is that the threshold at distance will be 140 instead, because of the rivet gun. One headshot from that will kill you, and it doesn't get affected by distance. So a long distance headshot can still kill you if you have 140 HP, and he hits you with a rivet gun. Widowmaker. So Widowmaker's damage is 12 damage a shot from the rifle. When it comes to sniper mode, 120 damage to the body at fully charged, 300 to the head at fully charged. Venom Mine does 75 damage over time of 5 seconds. So when you're Widowmaker, everyone dies if you land a headshot on them except if they're a tank. They die in 2 headshots, so don't miss. Widow kills all 200 below heroes with 2 fully charged body shots. May, Reaper, and Bastion die with 3 fully charged body shots. So what you're looking for as far as threshold goes is, if you see anyone with 4 blocks left in their HP, body shot will kill them. That's what you want to do to take someone out. You could kill someone with the Venom Mine at 3 blocks of HP, but they have 5 seconds to get out of there and find somewhere to heal themselves, so it's not the most reliable damage. So when you're fighting against Widowmaker, the threshold is simple, 300 HP. Unless you're a tank, that's an instant death for you. That is very dangerous. Bastion does survive with 5 HP at full HP because of his armor anyway, but 1 more shot from her will kill him too. So she is just extremely dangerous. You can get up and close and personal with her and just fight her up close range, makes it harder for her to kill you. She could still try to do the headshot, which is very difficult to do. It could kill you, but that's just really hard to do scoped up. She'll have to use her rifle, which still has good damage, but just not as good as her sniper shots. But if she really is still trying to fight you with scoped at close range, consider the threshold like 120, because body shots still hurt like hell. D.Va. So D.Va's cannons from her mech shoot out 8 pellets at a time. At long distance it's 0.5 damage each, at close distance it's 3 damage each. So you're looking at a potential 24 damage per burst in the body, 4 to 8 in the head if she's up close to an opponent. Her dash deals 25 damage, and her pistol does 14 damage when she's out of mech, 28 at headshots, and then her self-destruct does 1000 damage. Only Winston can survive that ultimate. Because of his armor, he survives with 5 HP. Now, if you're playing as D.Va, it's kind of hard to just gauge what you're really looking for to do damage here. You're just shooting people with cannons for the most part, surviving and hitting with the cannons to kill people. If we had to think of terms of blocks for kills, we're probably looking at about 2 blocks. And the way it would be is you dash over to hit someone with your dash, that's 25 damage, and then you just shoot them to death with your cannons. Then, of course, there's your ultimate, don't have to worry about thresholds there. That kills everyone but Winston in his ult form, and even then, it's only 5 HP left on him. Now, when you're fighting against D.Va, it's hard to gauge threshold on her, but I will say it's the same thing as with the blocks. That is, she'll do a lot of cannon shots to melt you. She could even just kill you with the cannons if she wants. And of course, when it comes to the ultimate, well, you gotta get out of there and don't make sure you don't get hit by that, and then come back over and just try to kill her before she gets back into her mech. And then you're just worried about taking a headshot of 28 damage. But that's really, if you're getting shot down to 28 HP left, you're gonna be pretty close to dead, but hopefully she's close to dead as well. So, if you gotta run, you gotta run. If you can kill her, you gotta kill her. Reinhardt. So Reinhardt's hammer does 75 damage, his charge does 300 if you pin someone into a wall, 50 damage if you bump into somebody, 100 damage on the Fire Strike, and 50 damage on Earth Shatter. So when you're Reinhardt, charge kills will kill everyone but tanks and Bastion. Bastion survives with 5 HP, after that it'll take additional hammers and the Fire Strike to finish anyone else off. 3 hammers will kill anyone with 200 HP or below, 4 hammers will kill May and Reaper. Unless you plan on dumping all your attacks on a tank, probably don't want to engage them. But the thing to keep in mind is, you're doing 3 blocks of HP per hit, and your charge is 300, and you already know it kills everyone but Bastion, but he only survives with 5 HP, so you're really just looking to charge someone that isn't a tank, unless you want to just weaken or kill a tank with all the rest of your abilities. Now when you're dealing with Reinhardt, obviously the threshold is 300 for the charge. If he's already used it, then it's 100 for the Fire Strike, and if he's used that as well, then it's 75 always because of the hammer. So if you only have 75 HP left, you want to get the hell out of range of him, because that hammer will crush you, and it has a very wide arc. So just be very smart about trying to dodge that hammer when you're in a fight or flight situation. Roadhog. So his primary fire does 2 damage up to 9 damage depending on distance per pellet, and that is 25 pellets per burst. So he does 50 damage at the farthest distance if he landed all of them on somebody. Up close it'd be 225 damage, and if you get the headshot potential on that, it's 450 damage. Secondary fire does 50 damage for the projectile, but if it bursts, it does the same as primary. Now you do 30 damage on the hook, and then there is of course the ultimate, which deals 5,000 damage over 6 seconds. So if you're playing as Roadhog, you're doing 255 damage to 480 damage when you do your hook combo that will kill essentially everyone but tanks. And even then, tanks can die from 1 more additional primary fire or from melee fire to kill them off, and then ultimates can kill anybody. Now when you're fighting against Roadhog, that hook combo will kill anybody. The only person who can kind of survive it is Roadhog himself because he has so much HP. That hook combo plus a melee will kill most heroes in the game, and even if you avoid the hook, the right distance on the secondary fire can do 450 damage to your face, so that can kill a lot of people. So you always have to be careful around Roadhog. There's just no way you shouldn't be careful about him, because he can kill anyone at any time. Winston. His Tesla cannon does 60 damage per second, his jump pack if he lands on someone does 50 damage, and his ultimate when he punches at someone does 50 damage as well. So when you're playing as Winston, there's not really thresholds to think about, like you can go for a 2-block threshold to hit someone with your jump pack, but but it's not the most reliable thing to land. It's a pain in the butt to really land that anyway. But with it, you can stick like glue to somebody and just burn them down with a Tesla cannon. You're doing 60 damage per second, so you can kill people eventually. It just takes a matter of time. But you of course have a big hitbox. You gotta worry about fighting enemies with big burst damage like say Bastion, Reaper, Roadhog, so that you gotta be worried about things killing you as you're killing them. But here's the thing about Winston if you're fighting against him. He sticks like glue to you. He is a pain in the butt to get away from. So when you're fighting him, you gotta just kill him first. Luckily his big hitbox and his big face hitbox is pretty huge for you to put a lot of damage in there. If you can stall out long enough, you can get teammates to help you fight him as well. Winston's just a big pain in the butt. He sticks to people very well. But once you hit 50 HP, you can consider that a threshold. If he tries to kill you with a jump, you just have to be very careful about being too far away from him to jump on you. If you can go around a corner to not get jumped on, that could help as well. But at the same time, you got the Tesla cannon hitting you for 60 a second, so it's really hard to stay alive. Zarya. Her beam deals 95 damage per second uncharged, up to 190 damage fully charged. Her bombs deal 45 damage uncharged, up to 90 damage fully charged. Then there's a splash damage. So if you're fighting as Zarya and you're uncharged, you can kill all heroes in 200 HP and below in about 2 seconds. Tanks will take 6 seconds to kill. At fully charged, it takes 1 to 4 seconds to kill everyone in the game with the beam. Bombs are worth using for kills at fully charged or against low HP enemies or groups. This is all assuming perfect accuracy. So the question is, how many blocks are you looking for thresholds for killing? And that's about 2 blocks. That's for your bomb, because your bomb's reliable to just hit someone with. So when they're about 2 blocks, that's 50 HP, hit them with the bomb, and you should be able to kill them. If they're not dead yet, a little bit of the beam will finish them off for sure. At fully charged, you're looking at about 3 to 4 blocks. That'll be a bit easier to do as well at fully charged. But then you can also just do the beam. If you're really good at holding the beam on someone, you will shred them to hell, because you're doing 190 at fully charged a second with the beam. Now, if you're fighting in Zarya, like I said for attack, threshold 45 at uncharged, 90 at fully charged. That's from the bomb, because the bomb is just reliable to land on somebody. Zarya can shred you to death with the beam as well, but it's just harder to do unless she has perfect accuracy. So the bomb is more instant and reliable to use on you. So if you got 45 HP, be worried about dealing with her. And if she's fully charged, be worried about her at 90 HP. Ana. So her rifle deals 80 damage over 1 second, Sleep Dart does 5 damage, and Biotic Grenade does 60 damage. So there's a combo Ana can do, and that is the dart combo. It's not an easy thing to do, but what you do is you dart someone to put them to sleep, then you shoot them with a rifle and grenade, and then shoot them with a rifle again really quick. The second rifle is the hard part to do, but this will do 225 damage. That will kill everyone 200 HP and below. Add a melee to kill Mei and Reaper. Everyone else, you're just being annoying to them unless they underestimate you, and it can kill all the tanks in 5 to 8 shots. It's just gonna take forever to do, but you can reliably kill most of the heroes in the game that are 250 HP and below. Now, if you're fighting against Ana, the threshold is 225 HP because of the dart combo. You can consider 145 if you don't think she can land that second rifle shot, because it is a bit difficult to land for some players. Now, if you can avoid the dart, then it's 80 damage threshold, because that will kill you over 1 second. Ana's shots are near instant, so it's going to be a pain in the butt to dodge the fighter, but if you can not get shot, you can kill her for sure, as long as you're over 80 HP. But that dart hits you, well then you're done. And if you're engaging her as a tank, the only thing you gotta worry about is the dart. If you dodge the dart, you can go ahead and try to kill her, because really, if she hits the dart on you, she's just gonna leave you alone and leave you be, because that's gonna sit you there for 5 seconds. Lucio. His gun does 16 damage per shot, 32 damage at headshots, and Soundwave does 25 damage. So Lucio can kill people, but it's a long slog. It takes 5 headshots just to kill Tracer, 10 if you don't land any headshots on her. Lucio's deadly at pushing people off the maps though, which is very nice to do, but you're gonna have a hard time killing people. Best thing you do is usually just dodge a lot and stall for your teammates to come over and kill them for you, because you're not gonna be that deadly. It is possible. Lucio, a consistent headshot with Lucio can kill people pretty well, but that is a very rare player right there. Now, when you're against Lucio, the threshold's 32 damage. That's a headshot right there. His shots do come in succession, but you can dodge and hit just one headshot on your face instead of a bunch of them in your face. So Lucio is not that hard to kill because his damage threshold is so low. But he is great at dodging though. So if you take too long to kill him, his teammates are going to show up and then you're going to have a very bad day. So either you kill him fast or you just get the hell out of there, because he's just such a pain in the butt to kill. But if your teammates are closer, maybe you'll get to kill him with a group before his group shows up. So there's that as well. Mercy. Her blaster does 20 damage per shot, 40 damage at headshots, no fall off on distance. So you can kill people as Mercy, that's just not your main function, but if you gotta resort to fighting and no allies are there to run away to, accuracy and headshots are your only hope. 5 headshots will kill everyone that's 200 and below. After that, it's just gonna take a lot more headshots to kill the other heroes in the game. Just dodge and strike as much as you can until you can find someone to run away to, but you can kill people if you really gotta, that's for sure. So when you're fighting Mercy, the threshold's 40 damage. Don't get shot in the head and kill her before she can run away. That's all you gotta worry about. Symmetra. So her beam does 30 to 60 to 120 damage per second as it charges up. Her ball does 25 uncharged and 125 at fully charged. So everyone can be killed by Symmetra. It just requires lots of dodging and melting people with her beam. Once it's fully charged, Symmetra can kill the 200 and below in 2 seconds, 3 seconds for Mei, Reaper, and Bastion, 4 seconds for Zarya, 5 to 6 seconds for the rest. It's all about dodging and just keeping the beam on someone to kill them. Symmetra is scary like that. Of course, she doesn't have a lot of HP, but you're just melting people. But if you gotta kill someone at range, it is block 5. So 5 blocks of HP on the opponent, they have 125 HP, fully charged ball will kill them. It's just hard to land because it's a slow ball, but if you can pull it off, nice on ya. Now if you're fighting against Symmetra, it's 125 threshold. That's a fully charged ball, or basically 1 second of her fully charged beam will end you that fast. Only engage Symmetra when you have the HP, her beam isn't fully charged, and you can kill her in 1 to 2 hits. Because if you take too long, she will melt you to death. So you just gotta be smart about taking her out first. Zenyatta. His balls do 46 damage each, 92 damage with headshots. If he's got Orb of Destruction on you, it increases damage to 69 body damage and 119 headshot damage. As Zenyatta with his balls, Zenyatta can kill 200 and below people with 3 to 6 balls. With Orb of Destruction, it only takes 2 to 4 balls to kill somebody. With larger hitboxes on tanks, Zenyatta can kill them in 5 to 8 balls with Orb of Destruction. A lot more without the Orb. Now if you're fighting against Zenyatta, your threshold's 119. This is assuming he puts the Orb of Destruction on you. He can kill you fairly easily with just shooting you in the head with those things. Without the Orb, he is still dangerous, but not as much. With his low HP, he is killable by most heroes, but if you don't fight smart against him, he'll kill you first. In summary and conclusion, here's all the thresholds on the screen in summary. So Genji's 50, McCree's 140, Pharah's 120, Reaper's 240, Soldier 76 is 120. Tracer, it's hard to really gauge, so I put a just on there. Bastion, 40 damage on the recon. It's hard to tell for sentry mode, 205 damage on the tank mode. Hanzo, 250 for the headshots, 450 from the scatter shot. 120 on Junkrat, but 240 considering his combo. Mei, it's 150 from the icicle, but freeze can also kill you, so worry about that as well. Torbjorn, it's 150 because of the full burst on the body. 300 on Widowmaker because of the headshot. D.Va and mech form, it's hard to really gauge. Reinhardt 300 on the dash, 100 on the fire, and 75 from his hammer. Hook combo, just in general, Roadhog, that kills nearly everybody. Winston, it's hard to really gauge his damage, so just putting the on there as well. 45 damage, 90 fully charged on Zarya, 225 on the combo from Ana, 80 from just taking a shot from her, 36 from Lucio headshot, Mercy headshot 40, 125 on the ball from Symmetra, basically also the fully charged beam, and 119 on Zenyatta. Think about your HP in regards to that to the heroes you're fighting, and that will give you some idea on just when you should be fighting or flighting, like I'm saying before. But if the enemy's low and your HP's low as well, you can consider can you kill them with one more go as well, when we talk about just the blocks as well. And so now on the screen are those blocks, because the thing about it is you can't see enemies' HP in numbers, but you can see it in blocks, so that's why we've been talking about blocks this whole time. So Genji, it's 2, McCree, it's 5 to 6, Pharah, it's 4 to 5, Reaper, it's 8 to 10 blocks, Soldier 76, 4 to 5 blocks, 1 to 2 blocks on Bastion and Recon, 8 blocks in tank mode, Hanzo, it's 10, then 18 when it comes to scatter shot, 4 to 5 on Junkrat, with just 1 bomb, and then 8 to 10 if you do the combo. Mei, it's 6 for her icicle in the head, freeze, of course, just freeze, 6 on Torbjorn if he hits the body shot with a big burst fire, Widowmaker, it's 12 blocks of HP, D.Va, 2, Reinhardt, we're looking at 12 for the pin, 4 for the fire strike, and 3 for his hammer. Hook combo, of course, from Roadhog over there. Zarya, 1 to 2 on the uncharged bomb, 3 to 4 on the fully charged bomb, 9 from Ana's combo, 3 to 4 from just hitting with the 80 damage, 1 block for Lucio, 1 block for Mercy, 5 blocks for Symmetra with a fully charged bomb or ball, and then 4 to 5 with Zenyatta hitting in the head with the Discord Orb as well. Now that's just a weirder way to see things, but that's kind of the only way you can see things when you're fighting people, is just how much blocks of HP they have for me to consider doing what I gotta do. And so that's on the screen for you to just internalize and think about. So that right there is the guide. That's all the information there, just all the different damages, all the HP to think about and worry about, the blocks and all that. It's a bit complicated, but I feel it's very important to know all this, because then you can just know how much HP do I need to survive for this fight, how much HP do I need them to be down so I can kill them, should I be getting out of the situation, should I be staying for the situation, just to help you think about what you need to do for whatever given moment, at least giving you more numbers to think about while you're fighting. It is definitely complicated, you might need to go through the guide a few more times, but for sure I feel this is a very useful tool, so I hope that you find it very helpful and that you just, well, it just makes you a better player at the game. The better we all get at the game, the better it is, because I love having strong opponents, having strong teammates. It just makes for a funner game. And with more people playing this game, we're at 20 million people playing the game right now, I just want to see more people just get better at the game sooner so we just have better play on all levels of the game. That's my dream of it, and that's why I make all these guides. So that right there is the guide I had fun making. I hope you had fun watching and learning from it, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time with the other guides. We're going to do Hanzo next, and we're going to finish off all the other hero guides for Overwatch going forward. And make sure you share these, because it's just good to help people out so they get better at the game and just improve the game in general. Good luck out there!